donship.com. I'm Al McGee. Well, you know who I am, but I'm here with, first of all, Tyler Wayne. He is the director and writer for this very good movie I saw called Goodbye Butterfly. And we have Adam Donshik, and he plays Ryan in the film. And man, he had a very good role. But first, let me start. First question to you, Tyler.
Hmm.
Why did you make yourself uncredited as the actor, as the main guy, one of the main guys in the film? Because you
Oh,
cheated me. I wanted to see your name there in the credits. I know you're the
are we?
director.
We're going there. We're going to the
We're going there right now because I kept
uncredited.
looking. Wait a minute, he was in this film. I saw him, but he's not
Ah,
listed.
but was I though? Because if I'm not listed, then
Well, I went on
was I
IMDb.
really? Oh yeah, I know. It gives the whole thing away. But I just didn't. I don't know. My name's all over the movie everywhere as it is. I was just like, I just didn't feel like doing it. I don't know why. I don't really have a better explanation than that.
Okay, well, I can understand that. But you do have Adam on there as Ryan. Now, Adam, this role, Ryan, what did you see in this character to say, hey, I would love to play that role?
It was number one on the call sheet. Uh, that's the initial reason. I'm not going to lie. I am certainly not, some sort of like, well, it was, because of X, Y, and Z that I really felt drawn to the character. I got an audition and they said they'd pay me. And I said, okay. But once I got into it, there's a humanity that you don't really get to see very much in a lot of films, especially films like that are considered like revenge dramas.
Right.
This is not a guy who is a good guy or a bad guy. He is just somebody put into an impossible situation with an impossible emotional experience, who's trying to get some kind of answer and feel like at the end of the day he can move on with his life. And you know what? These parts don't come around all that often. And when you get one, you got to run with it, because it allows you to explore parts of yourself that you've never been able to explore. It allows you to flex your acting chops and really see what you're made of as an artist.
Yeah, because see, with that part and what you did in the film, you really had to go up and down emotionally
Mm.
with this character. And did you feel that, say, like after you got through with one day of shooting, did your emotions still stay with you because of that character? And even when you were saying like eating a bowl of soup that day.
Yeah, it was hard to shake it. My family was, they're the heroes in this one. They had to put up with me for these 17 days, coming home, living in this. And, you try to leave it at the door, and you can leave some of it, but some of it just doesn't want to go away. And it lingers, and it lingered for a little while, even after the shoot.
Mm. Now, Tyler, you wrote this script and you directed this script. How did you come up with this type of idea? Is it because you kept seeing a lot of revenge movies, or how did you come up with this type of idea for this particular movie, Goodbye Butterfly?
Yeah, people keep asking me that, and the honest answer is I didn't. It was reverse engineered based on the budget that we had. We were supposed to collaborate with another production company on a project, and we were supposed to contribute about a third of that budget, and the project fell through. So we're left with a third of that, and I was left with having to answer to people who had invested money into a project that was now no longer going to go anywhere. So I basically just did a really quick, redirect and wrote an entirely new script. But because we had very limited resources, I just started from that central premise of like a few guys in a room and sort of built it from there. Everything else that kind of came was as a result of basically needing to tell a story that takes place in a centralized location with very few cast members.
Mhm. Well, this is your first script that you have directed. And did you feel you had to take complete control because it's your first script? Or did you feel, hey, I'm just going to be loose? I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to take it day to day. How did you approach it being your first directing job?
Yeah, try to loosely control everything. You don't, like, I didn't want to be somebody who was, demanding and barking and all of that. You try to create a very loose, you know, environment on set. And, I feel there are different schools of thought on this. I think that you get the best work out of people that particular way. But at the same time, you are the one who's kind of, for lack of a better term, directing everything to the point that it needs to get to. So there are times where you have to kind of just keep pushing it in the direction that you want it to go. Other times you are able to sort of step back and let some people, you know, take some weight off your shoulders, take some responsibility off you. But yeah, there's always a degree of oversight that's involved and that's necessary.
Well, Adam, did you like that directing style that he had? Did you want him to take more control and give you more direction about you should do this, you should do that, or did you like that style that he talking about? Well, let's be a little easy with this and let's go with the flow.
I think with the nature of the film being, 17-day shoot, a lot of pages moving quickly, I was okay being like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you need something different, you let me know. Just because I didn't want to have to sort of distract from something that was more vital in a moment that might needed to have been addressed. I knew early on that I was going to need to come in as prepared as possible, do the homework that I needed to do to create the character I needed, make sure that I had all the dialogue down, so that when, action was called, we were able to just go and create and move on and sort of, these kinds of films, you get one to, if you're lucky, a third take. So be prepared is sort of the mantra.
Wow.
And Tyler was great about it. He really was as hands off as needed until he saw something that he felt like he needed to jump in and say, no, this is the way it needs to be. Go this route, which was great.
And also, Adam, you have an MFA from Carnegie Mellon, right?
I have a BFA from Carnegie Mellon, so a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but a master's from George Washington University, and this is the longest school name ever, the Academy of Classical Acting at the George Washington University. So it's an MFA in classical performance, basically focusing on Shakespeare performance.
Wow, that means that you really know a lot as far as books and things like that with your degree. Because I understand, because I have 2 master degrees myself, one in performing arts myself.
Oh, nice.
Now, do you feel that you can talk to people more about your field as a person that's more knowledgeable because of your degrees, or is it experience you can talk to them about?
It's experience. A degree, a bachelor's degree, college, you're getting the book learning. You're getting, Carnegie was great because it was an experiential experience, thing, so that there was a lot of doing. The MFA was far less book learning and much more experience, really just going through and, we would read plays and we would discuss them limitedly, but it was really about the doing scenes and getting into the characters and understanding the language and how to communicate it. But in the end, when it comes to talking acting, I have spent 2 years with 2 friends of mine from school, just reading every acting book and having Zoom meetings and just discussing what we were reading. and then going out and applying it in film and television, and then coming back and talking about that experience. So in the end, book learning is good, but it's all about the experience. It's all about the application and how did you use what you learned. Because if you learn something you can't use it, you got to throw that away fast.
Exactly. And yeah, I know that. And you have done a lot too, man. Television and other small parts in other movies. And Tyler, is that why you chose Adam, because his experience? Or did you choose him because of, well, you know, he looked the part? Why did you choose him, Tyler?
Chemistry. Yeah, I mean, I looked through basically, you know, it's a lead role. So we auditioned a lot of people. It came down to Adam and this other person, but I had never met any of them in person. You know, Adam, they were all, you know, based on the East Coast. I'm over here in Los Angeles. So finally I flew out to meet with my two final candidates. And it just came down to chemistry. It just came down to who I felt I had an actual rapport with in the room. And that was Adam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so that really works for you as a director, someone that you can feel that's right for you, feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, somebody can, even if, you know, somebody has done a huge body of work and they're a big name, if I sit across the table from them and I don't feel like we're going to vibe, yeah, I'm not going to go in that direction, because ultimately, you know, you're going to be spending weeks, if not months, you know, collaborating on this thing with this person, trying to, you know, dozens, if not hundreds of people trying to push this one thing in this one direction. And if you and this, you know, your lead actor especially don't vibe, then it's not going to work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. I've been on a few sets myself. Also, the title, Goodbye Butterfly, is that the original title, or you had other titles for this? Explain how you went through that process to name the film, Goodbye Butterfly.
It's the one and only title that the project has ever had. You kind of start, well, once a story starts to form and you have an idea of the story that you're going to tell, I like to start with titles. It doesn't always work out that way. This new project that I'm working on, it has, but other times, sometimes you can't. But you always try to, you know, think of a clever way to encapsulate the entire story that you're trying to tell in the title. So yeah, that's a big part of coming up with the entire story in general. For me, at least.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, Adam, you shot this. You were in North Carolina when they shot this, and you say you shot this in 17 days. Did you feel rushed as an actor that you, come on, I gotta hurry up and get this through, or did Tyler say, hurry up, man, we only got so many days to do this? How did you feel?
You know, I felt like everything was fine. You know, we were moving at a breakneck pace, but at no point did I feel like it was rushed. I know that may sound strange. You know, and again, I think I said this already here, but it really came down to being prepared. It came down to doing my homework. So, you know, when I got the script, you know, after getting the part and to the first day of shooting, I was in work mode. You know, I'd spend time, you know, almost every day, not just learning the lines, but making sure that I understood where I was in the script, because that can be a big deal. Because, you know, when you're shooting out of order, you got to make sure that scene A that you shoot on day 1 is going to match scene B that you shoot on day, you know, 11, both emotionally and, you know, sort of like where you're at in your, you know, yeah, emotionally. Really, let's just deal with emotionally. And, you know, I think that the accelerated speed forced me to do the work in a more encapsulated way than I have in the past, when I know that I've had more time. Or I know that there's going to be more luxury of more takes, or the ability to sort of figure it out in the moment. I was under the impression early on that, come prepared so that you can then, be fluid to take whatever comes your way.
Oh, wow. Now, you work with Maria Burke. She played the detective. Now, working with a female detective in this film, how did you feel about that you was working with a female detective?
Oh, no problems. Honestly, women are smarter than men. They're just better at everything.
Oh, they sure are.
Yeah, hell yeah. And she was just wonderful. She's a great actress. She's got a strong like presence, strong personality. She wasn't, she has said herself that she has always wanted to play a detective role, and I think that she really did a great job. And it was just, it was a delight with everybody, but including Marie, to work with actors who were prepared, ready to play the game, ready to just throw down every time they said, Tyler said action.
Wow, thank you very much. Now, Tyler, my final question for you is this. Now, you on all these different platforms for video on demand, Amazon, and things like that. And unfortunately, theaters are not open right now. What do you prefer? Do you prefer what's going on now, or you just prefer to have it in the theaters like we've always done for the last 100 years or so, Tyler?
As a filmmaker and as an audience goer, there's no substitute for the film going experience. As an audience member, I want to see movies in theaters. As a filmmaker, I want my movies to be playing in theaters. But on the producerial side of things, as a producer, I do have to say that the more you look at the streaming model of things, the more it tends to make sense from a financial standpoint. If you're, from small films all the way up to big tentpole films. So it's an interesting time in the industry in that we're seeing, because of COVID and because of what we've had to go through, this past year, it's accelerated something that I think was already well in the making and well underway to happen. But, obviously the pandemic forced it into happening a little sooner. But it's interesting to see how things are developing. This new model of streaming, this new model of people releasing their movies direct onto the streaming platforms versus theaters, in a lot of ways makes a lot more sense financially. You're not splitting costs down the line 50-50 with the theater owners.
Right.
If theaters go away, I'm going to be very sad. But at the same
So
time,
am I.
on a financial
I've been going to them
end,
since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, I know. We all want to see them in theaters, and I don't think there's a single filmmaker out there that doesn't want their movies playing in theaters. But cash is king, so we'll see how this all plays out in the long run.
Well, I'm going to tell my audience to watch this film. I thought it was very good, and it's a type of film that many people dream about when things happen to them, and that's why I like Goodbye Butterfly. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Adam, for taking time with me, Al McGee, here at yeticket.com. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
This is your entertainment ticket. Latest and greatest.